This is a movie that I feel will divide people. Some might hate it, some might like it. For me though, I didn't really mind it. I'm like right in the middle because it does do some good while also having some problems. Now, to be frank, I didn't really know too much about this movie beforehand. Like, I never watched the trailer, so I went into this kind of blind. I mean, all I knew about it was that it was like, you know, as the name suggests, it was about something going wrong with the moon, which in turn affected the Earth and the people living on it. And that is most certainly the case, to put it into simple terms. Here we have the director of 2012, Roland Emmerich, here for another disaster type movie where similarly the world stands on the brink of annihilation. But in this one, it's due to the moon and how some mysterious force knocks it out of orbit, sending it on a collision course towards Earth. Now, this movie actually kind of surprised me in a good and bad way. And I'll get to what I mean throughout this review. But at first I was like, okay, this is going to be, you know, another one of those natural disaster movies, and that's about it. You know, not having watched the trailer beforehand and not knowing too much, but I quickly learned that there was actually a huge sci-fi action element as well, which makes this movie a whole lot more interesting. Like, there's more to it, and you want to know, like, you want to find out what the moon is hiding, and like, there's a secret deep down that gets unraveled as the movie goes on. And because it is a natural disaster film and some of it is set in space, it goes without saying that, you know, you expect big moments. You expect epicness, catastrophic scenes, and for the most part, we do get them. Some scenes were pretty eye-catching and remarkable. It's probably not up to Interstellar's level, but the film still provides a few thrills here and there. I keep forgetting that this isn't just about being a disaster movie, but also about the main characters as well. Like, did I care about them? Now, I'm neutral. Yes, kind of, but not that much, which kind of sucks because it really means a lot, these movies, like if the characters are likable and memorable. Think back to Greenland as an example. I really felt for that family, so it made that movie that much more enjoyable because there was a big emotional factor. In here, there's a lot of people to focus on, a lot. There's a few families, so that might be the reason why there's a lot more people to focus on. It's not just focused on one particular family, it's like focused on three. However, I would be lying if I said that I didn't end up caring for some of these people towards the end. And that's one of the things I personally enjoyed in this one, the entire journey. It truly shows the scary probability of what could happen to our beautiful planet with just our moon out of orbit, causing huge floods and tidal waves, gravity going insane, and just overall destruction. There's a lot of science in this. I don't know, like, I'm not an expert or knowledgeable when it comes to, you know, space, physics, or the accuracy of this movie when it comes to that factor, so I can't really comment on that, but what I can comment on is the emotional factor. If I compare it to other disaster movies like Greenland or Interstellar as an example, two that I thought did a pretty good job at it, like from an emotional standpoint, this movie just doesn't cut it. Sure, there was like maybe one part or just one part where I felt a little something, but I mean, it doesn't cut it because being a disaster movie where the whole world is going to end, there should be way more emotional moments. Like, way more sense of urgency, and there's just hardly any. And the reason why is because people are basically non-existent. Like, we don't really see people evacuating, we just see people like looting and on TV and stuff like that, but we don't really see like examples or visuals of people, you know, like ordinary people like you and me, right, escaping or where they evacuate to, which makes the movie feel pretty unrealistic. Like a scene of someone randomly dying or streets going havoc, people getting shot or something like that would help. That's what I feel is missing because all we see are just the main characters and the extras. I mean, we do see some instances where ordinary people turn on each other, but it's not very often at all. We also don't see how other countries are doing as well, so the movie just feels very enclosed and narrow. And yes, we do hear that people, are getting evacuated, but like I said, we don't really learn where they get evacuated to either, or where they can. I mean, the whole world is like, excuse my language, but fucked because of the moon's orbit, so everywhere is just getting wrecked. Maybe they just went to higher ground or something, since there's like tsunamis and floods everywhere. See, that's what I mean. It'd be nice if we saw what happened to the common folk. Another thing about the emotional aspect is that some people act pretty nonchalant. Like there's this one instance where there are these meteors striking everywhere on Earth, and it could strike where these certain guys live, and they see it strike down very close to them, but they just don't even say anything and just walk inside the house. Like, bruh, that could just strike on your house if you're unlucky and you're not even panicking. And I don't believe I saw anyone crying or breaking down. Most people are just like expressionless, like when the earth is getting effing destroyed. So as you can see, I have some mixed feelings about this one. It's certainly not perfect, but I definitely wasn't expecting it to be. I was going in not hoping for something, too good, but hoping that it was going to be alright. I mean, it could either be top notch like Interstellar or trash like Geostorm. And I found it kind of to be up in between. This movie turned from space mission to action survival, and I like that since there was a variety of things, but the movie feels very narrow and unrealistic, and I just needed to see more instances of what the people going through on Earth as this catastrophic disaster was happening. I also feel like the big reveal or explanation in the end, if you will divide a lot of people. Some might hate it, and I would completely understand. I'm personally kind of fine with it. Kind of fine with it. But what I didn't like was how they revealed it, which I'm not going to explain for obvious reasons. But it just felt like a lot of bland storytelling and just a lot of info crammed into a very short amount of time. I'm going to give Moonfall a B-. Because one scene towards the end was pretty epic and insane. But now thinking back to it, I maybe should have graded this like a C or a C+, but I'm just gonna go with what I thought right after exiting the theater. But anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Like and sub if you enjoyed, and as always, feel free to check out any of my previous videos. Until next time.